Task 1. Listen to the text and for each question mark the correct answer A, B, C or D. You now have 40 seconds to look through the task. You will then hear the recording twice.
Marcus, welcome. Sustainable tourism is something that most of our listeners will understand. Apparently, 1 in 3 of us say being environmentally friendly is important when we choose our holidays. But what exactly does the job of a sustainable tourism advisor involve?
Well, there are actually a lot of different things that you can do in this job. Some sustainable tourism advisors work closely with hotels to develop a business that is as green as possible. Others are involved in the academic side, doing research on what works and what doesn't work. My job right now involves educating travellers on how to make their holidays a bit kinder to the world.
Great. So, for our listeners, what kind of holidays are the most sustainable?
If you really want to travel sustainably, look for adventures near where you live. You'd be surprised how many people don't even know how many great places are right on their doorstep. Explore the local area on foot or by bicycle. Visit museums you've never been to in your city. Going anywhere new, even nearby, will feel like a holiday, and walking or cycling is by far the greenest way to travel. If you do want to go to popular tourist destinations, make the choice to visit outside popular times, like the school holidays.
What's the advice for people who want to see the world?
You'll spend a lot of money when you travel as a tourist. So when you go on a big trip, make it to somewhere where that money is needed. For example, areas that have experienced natural disasters in the last few years. Your money will help people rebuild in a more sustainable way. But before you go ahead and book a cruise to Haiti, do some research. It's only by making reservations with locally owned companies for accommodation and excursions that you are investing in the area.
Is it true that some businesses are just using the word eco in their name to make money?
Absolutely. Don't be fooled by somewhere calling themselves an eco-hotel just because they've built a hotel in a forest. It's not against the law to say you're an eco-hotel and do nothing special for the environment. The architecture of the hotel may look pretty and like it fits well in the natural environment, but unless the hotel is doing other things, like using clean sources of power, reducing waste, protecting wildlife and so on, it may not be sustainable.
So, how can tourists spot if something isn't an eco-hotel?
I can check online to see if they have the correct certificates. But for tourists, that may not always be easy information to find. You're unlikely to go on a tour of the hotel's water tanks and power supplies, so use your common sense. There should be none of those little plastic shampoo bottles. There should be automatic switch off for the lights and the air conditioners. Also, many hotels will have a sign explaining exactly what the hotel does to protect the environment. The first thing you should do is look for that.
And now, imagine I'm a hotel owner. How can I make my hotel greener?
Well, start with the simple things, like making sure all your staff receive training on the things you do to protect the environment. For example, in many hotels, they already save water by not washing towels unless the guest leaves them on the floor. But the hotel staff are often not well trained and just wash them anyway. Then, if you want to do something bigger, there are things like transport to and from the hotel. A great way to reduce damage to the environment is to invest in electric-powered vehicles to take your guests to and from the airport or train station and so on.
Finally, what's your advice for anyone who wants to work in ecotourism like you?
Well, it may seem a bit strange, but I'd say you need to meet a lot of different kinds of people with different attitudes and lifestyles before you can do anything useful. Everything about sustainability is about working with other people. You can travel the world with a lot of ideas about how to make everything greener, but nobody will listen to you unless you've listened to them first. It can be helpful to stay in places for a long time, or focus on your local area for that reason.